Ladies and gentlemen, welcome you. It's a pleasure for me to present the topic of challenges faced by youngsters on internet. Nowadays, the increases presence of youth online has raised serious concern about the safety of internet social media use. Difficulty in self-regulation, lack of awareness of privacy, compromise, and susceptibilities to peer pressure are listed as reason to youngsters' cavalier attitude towards online risks, such as sexting attitude, cyberbullying, and exposed to inappropriate content as they navigate the tricky waters of social media. On the other hand, there has also been criticism of the moral panic that surrounds the safety of extensive digital, in particular internet social networking used by the youth. So, is the internet really minefield, or it's just a digital extension of the pervasive stereotypes that dominate the youth? Moral panic notwithstanding, the risk of internet and social media to youngsters is just as real as a risk in society. Now, I will give you some issues youngsters may face nowadays. Cyberbullying is some of them, in the forms of name-calling and gossiping, spreading rumor, making trade or other spending malicious messages through email, message boards, and social media has augmented offline bullying rates from 23% to 72% in various studies. See here, and here. Exposed to the age inappropriate content is another serious risk because it causes much damage an age group that is already prone to sexual uncertainty and uncommitted and possibly unsafe sexual exploration. Of course, seeing the above risks as standalone, parents will raise mass hysteria against youth or internet, or more likely both. Youngsters already emotionally imbalanced or prone to destructive behavior are obviously more vulnerable online and save the irresponsible actions in the real world. It is very essential for a child to know of the potential risks even before she entered Christendom. Early intervention and education enables to the teenagers to make responsible decisions on how to use and how to not use the various functions. For this open communication between the adult and childhood, it is indeed tricky to find the balance between setting boundaries and giving freedom. But it must be done earlier on the easy to safe transition of the teenagers into adults. Then I have a request to make with parents to know how your child will go on the net and how to explore on the net because it's very harmful for the child, because there is sex abuse and harassment on internet which done by individual in the society. And now I want to thank you all for listening me and have a nice debate. And also a big thanks to Halimo Bank to give me the opportunity to present this. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Fabrice. We'll move swiftly to our next speaker, talking about the impact of internet on youngsters. That's Ms. Dhishti, Jugmohun. Can we put our hands together for her?
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm introducing myself. I'm Dhishti Jugmohun. I'm 19 years old and I just finished my HSC level, and now I'll be joining SUPINFO University in October 2018. So I will be conducting a little PowerPoint presentation about impact of internet on youngsters. I'll go first. So yes, we can start. Nowadays, every human is connected to internet. Around 51% of world population has internet connection. We have some statistics about how people use internet nowadays. These are on online, Facebook, it can be communication, downloading films, reading, uploading articles, and everything. Simply. So here is how frequent teens, youngsters use internet. Because for youngsters, their society is all about the digital life. They are always on their phone. Long time, youngsters used to go outside to play, but now they just want to stay on their phone and or on the tablets to play games and all. People have long debated the role of internet and social media playing in our lives, the lives and the lives of our youngsters, attributing the fact many pitfalls positive to common use online tools. A new survey supported by Hope Lab and Wellbeing Trust found an incredible complex relationship between social media use and well-being. On one side, many youngsters use social media to help them find connection, support, and inspiration in their times of depression. But on the other hand, some raise surveys concern regarding restaurant mix experience. But internet can be a good thing also. Internet is an important tool, learning tool for young people, where it has proven development of internet technology has raised in educational level in all countries, and it has changed the way students are being taught at school. That is why important for the present generation to be provided with information technology at school and in other academic societies. Here are how internet helps the young people. Internet provides them a learning tool to do research, to communicate with their teachers or friends, share their ideas. It also helps the teachers to share their notes and help the pupils online. And parents also can have a look on what their child are doing and how they are also evolving in their studies. Next. Online communication is helping to build relationships around the world because the internet is connecting society and cultures in our daily life communication and now creating relationships on the internet. Groups on social media are example of social interaction. The internet is developing a different culture globally in the society. We use the social media to share our different culture, the different traditions that we have in our multicultural, we have a multicultural country, but people can share how they feel. When you go to India, it's different. When you go to France, it's different. But using social media, people from France can know how people in India are living, and that's very different. Internet added influence factor in social interacting, such as trustworthy self-guides, blogs, and profile description. More than this online shopping, online banking, you can also have online marketing, which is very in vogue today. People use internet to make all their work easy. They don't have to move, to go out of the house, just to go to the bank. They just open their computer, get logged in, and it's done. Even for marketing, you don't have to go to the shop. You just click the link online, and then here you can get everything you want. This is increasing the living standard of the society. Social worker and entrepreneur able to influence to a wide audience on social, personal, economic, and environmental topics through blogs, social media, photos, podcasts, ebooks, newsletter, and information graphics. But is internet a good thing also? Because nowadays, as you can see, most of our teenagers has never lived without internet. Everyone has at least a phone or internet connection, not even with them or at home. Everyone has it. We teenagers are often more tech savvy than adults, and we embrace each new technology that develops. However, the interest in internet and technology can evolve in an obsession. Teenagers are known for extreme in moods and behaviors, but extreme internet use can cause everyday life to take a backseat to online time. Internet use seems more important than time spent with their friends outside or with their family, or just to have a hobby, to do sports like, I don't know. From smartphone to Facebook, teens face a dizzying array of choice and opportunity for digital communication. On the one hand, this is a good. The teen can immediately connect to his friend, family, teachers to enhance social, technical, and academical skills. But on the other hand, there are risks that worry parents mostly. I found an interesting quote I just put on the slide here, which is by Ernie Allen, the President and CEO of National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, which say kids are going to post photos and personal information. At least they should be aware of the risk. At least they should use the privacy tools built in the sites to keep people they don't know from accessing their personal information and their data. And at least mom and dad should learn about what they are going to do. Next, please. Yes, these are some dangers that I find interesting. You have pornography, online gambling, sexual predators, sexting, loss of privacy, damaged reputation. Next, please. So one important thing on internet that is really a major thing is cyberbullying. Cyberbullying means people who are being harassed for their actions, harassed, demeaned, intimidated, told by other people. The most common form of cyberbullying are often name-calling or spread of false or harmful rumors. By the definition, it occurs among young people. When adults are involved, it means It may meet the definition by cyber harassment or cyber talking, a crime that can have legal consequences and involve jail time. If you have a child, you can find different signs in your child that he might or she might be bullied. It may that he is always emotionally upset, he is avoiding schools and his friends, he has changed his way of living, that is his moods, his behavior, his way of eating. These are some signs that your child is being cyberbullied. And here we have what you can do if you find that your child is being cyberbullied. Okay, please. The internet is a wide open resource where a savvy child can access anything from the latest cookie decoration video to porn, which make parental oversight difficult to say at least. At the time, the web is a wonderful resource where children can explore interesting subjects, learn new skills, and make new friends. And these are some points that you might use to protect your child from the internet. So you can't just don't tell your child that you don't have the right to use it, but you can just let him use it, but know how he's using it, and show him how to use it and not to make misuse of it. These are some tips for the teenagers. Now, teenagers, they are different. Now they are more aware of how things go on. They know, at this age, they know how to master hack parental control. So your job is now to help them understand the repercussion of their action if they make this. And by this age, you should continue staying interested in talking to them and know what they are doing online and showing interest in their activity. And then they might be front to you and tell you if they have any problem. So I would like to say thank you very much. Internet is an interesting thing, but you must just know how to use it rightfully. And I will say to Ms. Emilia here that maybe everyone's talking about Facebook, but it's not just Facebook. There are also other sites that use people and they are bullied by the other side. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ms. Dhishti. At this point in time, I'd like to start what I call a discussion. I'd like everybody to get involved. We have about 10 minutes, and I'd like those 10 minutes to be very educative. I'd like us to open up our minds. Some of the questions that we had earlier, we could throw them in. And to join the panel, I'm going to call the Chief Executive Officer of ABR Plateau Limited. ABR Plateau is in charge of the ICT support for this forum, the Internet Governance Forum. He is no other than Mr. Shamir Ramdin. I'd like you to join the panel because we're about to have a discussion. Can we put our hands together for him? I personally know Mr. Shamir as a friend, and let me use the word, bullied him to come sit on the panel. And you know, I did it via WhatsApp, so would you call that internet bullying? Okay. So, because I wanted us to have a panel of professionals across sectors, so we have from the law enforcement, we also have Shamir, who is an entrepreneur. He's a founder of a startup which is in ICT. We know that if you're in ICT, you're definitely building technologies that will get people hooked up to solve situations, to solve problems. But also you might be creating a problem without knowing. And we also have students and other professionals in this panel, and you, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to proceed with certain issues. First of all, I'd like to open the floor. If you have any question that you didn't ask or you want to ask right now, so we can use that and start. Yes?
I would like to ask
Can we have the microphone, please? Can someone help us with the mic?
Well, you did talk about internet addiction. I think it's a bad thing. And I want to know, how would you suggest for people to leave this addiction, to stop this addiction? What would you suggest? What do they have to do?
So I would say that people should start living more. Parents, it first come out from the parent. The parent must know how to guide the child, not only by using the internet, mobile and thing. Because if you keep your child by the busy life of parents, the child stays all the time at home and on the internet. But if the parent can make an effort to free sometimes to bring the child outside, go to the beach, go to the supermarket, go everywhere else, the child won't only depend on the internet to feel better. I think that can be a solution.
That's a wonderful contribution. Now we have a question coming in from Facebook from Jonathan. And the question is, what are the penalties against cyberbullying? I believe he's talking about Mauritius. What are the penalties in place against cyberbullying? And I think we'll leave that to the law enforcement representative here in the panel.
Regarding cyberbullying, you have two laws in Mauritius. We have the Information and Communication Technologies Act 2001 and the Computer Misuse and Cybercrime Act 2003. Regarding the offences section 46 of the IGF, we have a penalty going up to 1 million rupees and imprisonment not exceeding 5 years. So it's something really.
That's a good contribution, but because I said this is going to be a heated conversation, and I'm planning to make it that. When we talk about cyberbullying, and like you just mentioned the act, one of the top parts about technology is that it's quite ubiquitous. That means you can do without it, and it's very versatile and liquid in form. That means you can hold it, or even like air, which translates to the fact that I might be an offender that is not in Mauritius. How then does the law try to find a way to get such situations in place? Because you might find someone who is an offender. Most of the offenders might not really come from the jurisdiction of the law that we are talking about. So let's say someone is in Reunion, and that island is not covered by the jurisdiction of Mauritius. Don't we have a challenge there?
Yes, in fact, we have something that we call the venue of offense, which is, let's say, if the offense is in Mauritius, the offender is in Mauritius, then it goes to the local court. But if it is outside Mauritius, then we do release the information through Interpol. And the work continues.
Okay.
The investigation continues in that country.
Okay. Mr. Pravesh, I'll just pose another question to you. Now, what's the success rate of the offenses that you pose to Interpol? What's the success rate? Do you keep track to make sure that such offenses have been taken care of, or you just report to Interpol and then it's left from them?
We do inform them that they are not obliged to reply regarding the outcome.
Okay.
Because it is just a request. We cannot impose on another country to enforce the law.
Okay.
It is let's say the case is being reported in another country. They do contact us. If there's something that the law enforcement here, the local, can do, we do investigate, get the required information, and we release that information through Interpol. And then they do proceed with their investigation.
I must say that the Mauritius police and all the security agencies are very good. Personally, from my experience around various nationalities, I realized that the security in Mauritius is relatively good and the response rate is quite good, and we must commend your efforts out there in the field. However, we also know that these challenges, like we said earlier, they're real, and most of the people, Mauritius is a small country. The reason why I asked that question is because you're not going to find a whole lot of people as sexual offenders in Mauritius, because most times sexual offenders hide under a mask, and everybody knows everybody. I'm not meaning it literally, but everybody knows everybody in Mauritius. Someone told me something, he said, everybody's 2 handshakes away from you in Mauritius, because it's a small country of about 1 million plus people. And so, does that give us a problem where we need to look more to civil societies that have to educate people? Because the police, for instance, back to the reason why I asked the question, you can only do as much as you can do in Mauritius. And you can only access or arrest people that are offending. So the question now is, what are the civil societies doing to make sure that people do not offend? More like preventive measures rather than situations where you have to address a particular incident that has happened already. I think we have a question. Let's get to the question. Any other question from the audience? You just indicate my
answer. Your question is one thing with us is we do conduct sensitization campaigns in schools, private companies, and sometimes through newspapers and TV and radio programs. And we do educate people about what the law prevails regarding ICT, and there are other agencies. And one thing that I would like to point out regarding your question of foreign countries where offenses came, we do have National Committee Board to set a new, and with their help, we information to sometimes Facebook and other agencies abroad. So I believe Dr. Usmani is going to...
Can I just add something onto that what he said?
Okay. Can we get Dr. Usmani's input?
Thank you so much. In fact, once we are talking about, let's say, a crime coming from the offshore, how the crime will be dealt outside the boundary of Mauritius, what normally we are doing right now is we are trying to align our Misuse of Cybercrime Act with the Budapest Convention on Cybercrime. This is one. And one component which we have into that is the mutual legal assistance. And once we have that mutual legal assistance clause amended within the CMCA 2003, then surely what it will do is that it will help us through Interpol in order to bring back that, for example, investigation from any particular country. This is one. Second thing again is like coming back to again, the legal component. If you look at Africa, Africa is having the AU Convention on Cybersecurity and Personal Data Protection, and the Mauritius has ratified this convention in March 2003, and this again what this particular act will do, and this is what I think we'll be talking tomorrow. Basically, all the African countries, they have to be involved in order to fight and combat cybercrime, because unless and until we are not all together, and I think your story was really interesting where we have to, let's say, have a concerted effort where each and every party, including countries, they have to be involved in order to fight that. So this again allows, in order to have that mutual legal assistance more effective. There are challenges, yes, but of course, in terms of to answer your question, whether it is efficient, it is not efficient yet, and how it will be efficient. So the only efficient once MLA is basically implemented, and then this, let's say, up and running and functioning. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for your input, Doctor. Question? Okay, let's get a question from Demo, and then we...
Thank you, David. Thank you, everyone, for your presentation. Just one question to the representative from the police and vice president. can you please enlighten the young persons who are present today? Because at our helpline Mauritius, we regularly receive complaints, not only regarding Facebook, but materials, inappropriate material that are online, and people, young persons want to go to the police to report the case. And the fact that they go and report, they come back to us saying that we are still waiting in our response. So can you please enlighten us? How long does it take from the time it was reported until we can expect an outcome? And I'm referring to youngsters who are at school, colleges, high school, and they are usually faced with harassment on Facebook or other inappropriate materials on websites. Thank you.
Yes, Neil, I wish to say that answering to your question about time frame, we don't have a definite time frame for all cases. It is a case-to-case basis. But provided that the required information is on hand so that the investigation be completed. And to be frank with you, I cannot precise on to generalize about the investigation process. But I can guide you about whoever comes to the police, if there are things that is being required so that the investigator might be able to proceed with his investigation. So sometimes you can find someone comes to report a case regarding Facebook, but then at a certain point in time, we require other things to proceed. But this is all about investigation process that I cannot lay emphasis on what is being required and what are the shortcomings in this investigation. And before I come here, I've been briefed not to lay emphasis on our investigation process, because what we can guide the public is what you are required for initiating an inquiry. But most of the time in public meetings, seminars, the public is not generally interested in how to be, they need to be guided for a case to be reported. They want to know how the police conducts an investigation. But this is something not to be discussed in public. So I hope I've been able to answer to your question, but I believe it is not wholly answered.
Just on average, how long does it take for an inquiry to be complete? Would you say 1 year?
When you want to say complete, it all depends on what you mean. You want to say that the case is in court, or the investigation process at the level of the police is completed. Because a member of the public comes to the police. He or she reports a case. The investigator is going to gather evidence, record statements, bring the accused party, and then after that, it does not go to the court directly. It goes through the DPP's office. There, it is not the law enforcement, it is not the Mauritius police force. It is something else. So we don't have control on how much time it is going to stay at the DPP's office. Okay. Back from there, it goes to the court or the advice otherwise.
Okay, I'd just like to thank Mr. Pravesh. He has been very patient trying to answer all our questions. I believe we already understand what he's trying to say. On average, you can't really, because there are different situations and it's technology we are dealing with, and although we had a discussion where we came to an understanding, there are boundaries to what he can make us understand with respect to investigations and all that. I'd like to take the conversation a little bit towards ICT, because we have Dhishti here, and I'm trying to put Shamir on a hot seat right now. There are the people that are responsible for building building technologies, and she's actually a student in that same field. So I'd say when going through your courses in school, do you have any areas that hit on building technologies that are ethical for the use of the public? Now, I'd like to add, the reason why I'm asking this question is our society always in the habit of damage control? Because we have these societies that are all in place to fight the negative impacts of technology and all that. But how about we take a step backward before this technology is being made, the people that are being trained to make these technologies? So that's why I'm asking that question. So Dhishti?
So yes, at school we do learn about the ethical computer use, how laws come into computers and things. So to reply to your question, I haven't yet started my courses. I'll be starting in 2018 at university. But what I've learned in the past years at school, SC level, HSC level, is that yes, we do have many ethicals that people should follow. We have ethics for computer ethics that are quite same to how people ethical in laws we have.
Okay. All right. So if you can pass to Shamir. Shamir, you own a startup that is in the ICT field. And I believe that you're not building solutions to use on your own. You're building solutions that people are going to use. So what can you say about your establishment's adherence to certain principles? Are there principles or laws in place in Mauritius to control the way solutions are being built with respect to how they affect the populace? And is your company, in any sense, creating their own culture to be able to meet the challenges in society, solve problems, and also do it ethically?
Thank you, Tavi. To answer your question, given that we are currently doing a technology that is quite new in the market, which is using augmented and virtual reality, there haven't been very much of laws in action for these parts of technology. Given that we want to make something that is good. As we can see in the world nowadays, there's lots of disruptive technology coming up. And disruptive technology are not only in sectors such as manufacturing or renewable energy or anything like that, but it is also in education. Because in education, as you can see, in education in Mauritius and across Africa, we are still using the old ways of doing things. Why this is not really the way that education can enhance the way we can learn. Because we as individuals, at the end of the day, when we get into the market nowadays, in the 21st century, are we required to have a good memory of what there is in a textbook, or are we required to have an understanding of how we can solve the problems in the world? And the problems that are creeping up in the world are problems linked to technology, problems linked to new technology that we cannot understand. As we speak here about civil rights of people, that means how technology can affect children. This is something that 30, 40 years ago we would not think about, because we would not see the impact that this can have on children and how can this really change their life. And we nowadays see, as the question earlier I wanted to answer, I didn't get the chance to answer the question, where technology is addictive. Yes, it is addictive. Technology has become so addictive that we are comparing it to drugs, morphine, this kind of drug, because it gives you this little trigger of endorphin. When you take your mobile and you see, I got a little like, I got all these people liking me, all these people following me, and I'm just wanting this praise. So we as developers, when we come up with new technology, it is our duty to look at this aspect. And me myself at Arya, when we are coming up with technology, because we're integrating it in education, and this is going to play a crucial life in people of tomorrow. So we need to understand that what we are developing not only enhances what they are going to learn, but also make sure that they do not become a slave to this technology and can use it for the benefit. So we have to show this parallel between these two aspects.
Sorry, Shamir, I have to stop you there because we're running out of time. Ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of this particular session. I'll just do an overview. We started with trying to highlight the issues that we have in the society, and also the roles and responsibilities of civil societies in online child protection. We've understood various questions have come to the security operative, and we've had feedback on what the law says. We've also gotten inputs from the professionals here as well, talking about ICT and what they do. And I'd like to stress the point, like Shamir has just said, we have so many technologies now that are channeled towards entertainment and self-gratification. And I think it's a good move what they're doing, where we now start creating more technologies channeled towards education. Because you check someone's phone, and 80–90% of the time, the applications in the phone are all for entertainment. Social media, gaming, and the rest of them, watching videos. But we do not have so many tech companies going into education where they can use technologies that are educative. So when a child picks up their phone and they see two apps, one is about education and one is about entertainment, at least now you're creating a good balance between what you provide for them, and we do not have a complete buffet of applications that are just channeled towards entertainment. I thank you very much, our panelists. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for your contributions. And once again, we have gifts from, we would have a representative from Emtel to come help